next panel discussion where we are going to talk about how CSR can enforce Indian education system and develop future leaders. We're going to talk about different key ways from the field initiatives. I'd like to invite our esteemed panel on the stage.
Okay, good afternoon. So it's a really very interesting session that we have. What is the role of corporate or maybe the CSR in redefining or reinforcing our Indian education system? So we have a nice panel. So rather than taking time in introduction and everything, I would request everyone to please introduce yourself and then we can go ahead with that. So, basically, I would love to know about your experience in education system while you are quite deeply involved in skilling. So can you please introduce yourself and you make your opening remark with regards to your experience in education sector?
Thank you, Prabhakant sir. My name is Lokesh and I belong to Amazon Web Services. So Amazon works specifically in 4 to 5 domains in CSR, which include economic impact, food insecurity, disaster relief, health equity, and empowering youth and young adults on education and skilling. From an education and skilling perspective, we work very closely with universities and align them with AWS curriculum, which enables students to learn about all the emerging technologies, which include cloud, cybersecurity, AI, ML, and these students then enter the workforce and they're already skilled to do that. There are different programs which are pro bono, which are provided to the universities. They include AWS Academy, AWS Educate, AWS Restart. I won't bore you with that. Moral of the story, training youth so that they can make an entry into the industry and they are skilled to do that.
Yeah, Gitanjali, so very similar question to you. You can share about your experience in education sector. And
Thank you so much. I'm Gitanjali Gaur. Uh, I'm from CSR and ESG sector. It's been 17 years in this sector, uh, almost a decade with government, then with United Nations setup, and now with corporate Kyndryl, which is an IT infrastructure company. I just wanted to mention this because it's like I got an opportunity to sit on 3 sides of the table, and somehow I have seen even education and skilling sector projects very closely. That too, when government was monitoring it, now when corporate is executing it, and when, let's say, a bilateral body was asking for funds from government of India. So my experience, cutting it short, was very diverse. But currently, if I will talk from a corporate perspective, I will say that when we reached out to the colleges and the universities, especially from hiring perspective, we realized certainly there is a huge gap is there when it comes to skilling. They are not still market ready. So that bridging of gap is a need, and that's what Kyndryl is also doing. We are doing a lot of skill development projects, and certainly future forward education is one of our thematic area. I will park my comments for further discussions, but certainly that bridging is a must, is a key. I will certainly share some data points later on. Thank you so much.
So, Ved Prakash ji, you are coming from the real rural India that we have. In last 34 years, you have a great exposure of rural ecosystem, particularly from livelihood perspective. But I believe that education is contributory to livelihood. So, I would like to know about what is your experience in last 34 years. How basically you're seeing the education system in rural India.
Yeah, thank you. So, in Beable Foundation, we are implementing CSR programs. We are working for incubation, innovation, action research, some livelihood models creation, and identifying some skill gap also. So we see that agriculture from rural India contributes 15%, about 15% to GDP. But if you see the education system in rural India, uh, in fact, 25% of rural India is sitting in cities, metros. So we cannot ignore even that. So we see this, there is a huge gap, skill gap is there. Industry demands, industry need, and their preparation is not matching. So this is not only the infrastructure, this is the ecosystem also. And to me, I have traveled across India, more than uh, uh, 2,000, 3,000 blocks I have visited actually. So I see that our teachers are aging and new generation students are there. There is no match, no match. We are also finding difficulties in getting right kind of trainers. So those who are skilled in 80s or 90s, mid 90s, those are not fulfilling the requirement of rural India. So now we are talking technology. That is a big gap actually. Skilling gap is already there within the teaching workforce, and skilling teaching workforce also. I am not saying that they are certified and they are also. We are having 15 years in for-profit entity. There's a 15 years experience of skilling, first NSDC partner. So we can say that there is also need to immediately revamp the our trainers pool on that side also. Technology is helping, certainly helping. We are sitting in metros, but in rural India there is a gap, and it is uh, gap of infrastructure. Rural infrastructure of education infrastructure is struggling. So we can discuss it later, but
Definitely.
this is pathetic.
The last word is very powerful, but thank you, Veji. Now coming to the youngest person in our team, Mohammad Asim. So Asim, basically, I would like to know about your work experience. I think you are quite active in STEM learning in the schooling system. So can you elaborate about your experience?
Yeah, hi. My name is Asim, and I work with Cadence India as a CSR lead. So, my education has also been into social work. So, I've been in the sector for around 15 years. When it comes to education, मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि जब भी हम एजुकेशन और इंडिया की बात करते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि आज आपने क्या चश्मा पहना है. अगर आपको लगता है कि आप सिलिकॉन वैली से इंडियन एजुकेशन ड्राइव करो तो आपको लगता है कि सिलिकॉन वैली में इतने सारे हेड्स बैठे हैं इंडियन जो कि इंडियन है. आप रूरल एरिया में जाके बात करते हो जैसे सर ने बोली तो आपको लगता है कि रूरल एरिया में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ही नहीं है. फिर आप कहते हो कि सबसे बड़ी इंजीनियर्स की फौज हमारे पास है. और फिर आप ये भी कहते हो कि इंटरनेशनल स्कूलिंग भी हमारे पास है, इंटरनेशनल लेवल के इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स भी हैं, टेक एजुकेशन, स्टेम एजुकेशन सब हो रहा है. तो इट डिपेंड्स कि जब आप इंडियन एजुकेशन को देखते हो, गवर्नमेंट की लेंस से देख रहे हो तो हम विश्व गुरु भी हैं. तो आप आज कौन सा चश्मा पहन के इंडियन एजुकेशन को देख रहे हो, ये महत्वपूर्ण है मेरे हिसाब से.
तो असीम, कमिंग फ्रॉम द रिवर्स थिंग, आप ही से शुरू कर लेते हैं कि बेसिकली अभी इससे पहले जो पैनल डिस्कशन था, इट वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट द टेक्नोलॉजी, एआई. तो आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं, क्योंकि इफ वी आर लुकिंग, एआई एक्चुअली इज नाउ पार्ट ऑफ आवर लाइफ. इट्स अ बेसिकली एडवांटेज आल्सो, डिसएडवांटेज आर आल्सो देयर. बट हाउ यू आर सेइंग कि एआई किस तरीके से हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम को और बेहतर बना सकती है? आई एम नॉट लुकिंग फ्रॉम द नेगेटिव साइड, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ नेगेटिव्स विद एआई आल्सो, बट वी शुड लुक फॉर द पॉजिटिव साइड कि एआई कैसे एजुकेशन सिस्टम को बेहतर बना सकती है.
तो एआई मतलब अभी बज़वर्ड है, हर जगह आपको एआई के बारे में यू विल हेयर समथिंग और द अदर. बट मेरा एआई के बारे में कहना ये है कि बिफोर इट केम टू द कंप्यूटर्स इट केम टू अस. वो चार लोग क्या कहेंगे जो कह रहे थे वो एआई थे, वो एआई यहां से निकल के अब कंप्यूटर्स में चला गया. तो इट्स अबाउट के आप स्टूडेंट्स को, क्योंकि सब लोगों ने ये बोला कि स्टूडेंट्स को सिखाना चाहिए कि उसको कैसे लेवरेज कर सकते हैं, कैसे उसको करिकुलम में डाल सकते हैं. लेकिन मेरे लिए पॉइंट है कि जो लर्निंग गैप है, आप एआई को एज अ बेस मान रहे हो या एज एन एनेबलर मान रहे हो. अगर वो बेस बन गया है तब तो खराब हो गया, नींव में मट्ठा डल चुका है. लेकिन अगर वो एज एन एनेबलर है तो फिर आप सही दिशा में हो. सो यू हैव टू टेल स्टूडेंट्स के इस तरीके से करना है और इस तरीके से नहीं करना है. दैट्स द बेस्ट वे यू कैन डू इट.
थैंक यू आसिम. विजी, आपका जो एक्सपीरियंस है रूरल इंडिया का, उसको लेके मैं ये थोड़ा समझना चाह रहा था कि
वी आर सीइंग दैट 30,000 करोड़ प्लस सीएसआर फंड अवेलेबल है इंडिया में, जो कॉरपोरेट्स के, और इसके अलावा पीएसयू फंड्स हैं जो भी सीएसआर है. सो टोटल करेंगे तो वी हैव द 1 लाख करोड़ प्लस फंड्स इन इंडिया. Infrastructure need urgent support. When government cannot support everything, so corporate and CSR support should come. Like we invested fund in roads, uh, public sector participation as private sector participation. So private equity has come into roads, transport. So similarly, education need a investment. So we are investing around 3% of GDP, 2 to 3%, but releasing. We need 5 to 6% continuously next 10 years or 8 years. So that can revamp. So school across the country should have a best infrastructure and best talent available in technology and connect. So this need a private investment. Without investment, our teachers, our bureaucrats, our officers, our parents, they cannot help. So first thing is this, that CSR funds should be invited, as well as private funds should be there, allowed for to education system, and very fast movement should be there. One. Second thing, this job market and the education system should be matchmaking actually. So job market is there, jobs are there. AI powered digital hub, already NSDC has launched a uh, initiative. So new tools are coming. So job market is coming up. Industry is creating new jobs, and manufacturing hubs are coming. So our readiness is not there. We should not talk about today's. Fact is this room should know that 2 to 3 lakh youth every district, in every district we have 2 to 3 lakh youth ready or being ready. So 15 to 25 age group, we have 2 to 3 lakh youth in every district. So you can calculate 600 districts if we do average. So that is the number we are seeing. That's immediately job requirement is there. So job market and readiness, and readiness for today, it should be readiness for 15 years ahead also. So after 15 years, what will be there? So we are finding we are into skilling, and we are doing cluster mapping and identifying door to door or street to street, knocking youth. So youth are, their aspiration is not matching. Though that is a different thing. They cannot prepare their own CV. They have done the graduation, but they cannot prepare their own CV. They cannot write their own application. But fact is that we need investment. We need a job market connect. Market and education prepares, readiness should be there. And third thing we are seeing that we should look forward for the aspiration of youth also. These youth are different. You see the children in our own houses also. These children are different. हम लोग अपने पेरेंट्स से पिटते थे, अब वो सुनने को तैयार नहीं है बच्चे. This generation is different. हम ऊपर भी पिटे हैं, नीचे भी पिट रहे हैं. So our matchmaking is not there. Industry is ready. Need to allow industry to fund it to the sector, and just like a road transport, education should also get a fund. So at least 6% of GDP should be invested in education system in our rural India particularly, and major in urban poverty is also big poverty, which we are not counting. So one second, third thing, I'm talking about the finance. So education is not an easy thing actually. So our funds, not only from the capital investment, but also there's availability of uh, financing facilities for the parents also, so that they can fund their kids education or smoothly. So that is, bankers are allowing, but not for all actually. So this should be like a KCC for Kisan card. This as a education card should be also there. So education, if education card of 1 lakh to 5 lakh rupees is available for the parents, they can easily, without hesitation, they can allow their girls, their daughters to go to the good institutes. I have seen this many parents are not allowing their daughters, only allowing their sons to the education, to the higher institutes, good institutes. So this is a challenge actually. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think you also bring the gender perspective in education also. It's a very debatable topic. And our generation is quite capable actually. We are managing both the generations. So I think a huge round of applause for us. Gitanjali, actually, extending to the points that Ved Prakash ji has read, how do you see the role of corporate in reshaping the education system? Because corporate is not only about CSR, actually, they are also contributing from other dimension. They are actually a recruiter from these education institutes. So they have significant role. So how you basically looking the role of corporate and including CSR in basically reshaping the education system that we have?
Okay. So I will pick up from where he was saying, just with some data points. So as per reports, by 2030, 60%, 68% of our population, India's population, will fall under working population. That is like from age group of like 15 to 68, which is around 152 crore, which is such a huge number. And even by, as per like gap analysis of National Skill Development Corporation, in 1 decade, we will be needing some 40 crore youth, skilled youth, to maintain this whatever like progress we are making when it comes to come to our economy. So because we are planning to make India's like third largest economy, and for that we need 40 crore youth, which is not a small number, which is such a big number. So if you will ask me what role corporates are playing, so I will start from CSR. Certainly, they are playing a major role. Of course, government cannot do everything all alone. If need is there, it means corporates are coming in India, they are investing. But are we ready? That is my question. As I said in my previous like statement also, when we are reaching out, we are going out as company who can hire, let's say IT professionals or some other professionals, then certainly when we are hiring them, at least for next 3 months to 4 months, we are working on it. It means they were not job ready. So some gap is still there, as I was saying, that they are educated, they are engineers, they are graduates. I'm talking about tier 1, tier 2, all kind of cities. From tier 2, tier 3 cities, at times they don't know where to go, as he rightly said, they don't know how to make their own resume and all. They need more hand-holding. There comes the role of corporates as their CSR projects. I want to highlight that, let's say at Kyndryl, we are doing a couple of projects where we are targeting strictly tier 2 like students, because they don't have that kind of resources and access. So we are reaching out to them, funding their diplomas or their advanced skilling. I want to use the term because you know what, when it comes to skilling, India has like no matching numbers, different kind of skillings. We are like, everybody is like looking for numbers. But are we doing the end-to-end linkages? That is my question. Are you like, after skilling, can you assure that, okay, yes, you will get a job? Nobody can give an assurance, but at least we should make them capable that they should be market ready. They should go out and search a job for themselves. So this is what we are trying to do. Maybe we are not looking for numbers. Ideally, I think corporate should not look for numbers as such only. Maybe you go for a pilot for a small number, investing more, but ensure that if you are skilling 500, at least 300 out of them should end up getting a job. Because as I said, just last one quick point, need is there. Luckily, India is going to be certainly a third largest economy because we have that youth population. We just need to skill them, that too with advanced skilling and doing, as he rightly said, matchmaking. We are training in something else and need is somewhere else. So we have to do a mapping exercise, or I would say you have to marry them both. in a proper manner, where, okay, requirement is there, and then you are providing them the right advanced skills. So that is my submission.
Thank you. And I think you raised the right point that actually we should focus on the quality rather than the quantity, because everybody is actually running out of numbers, big numbers, and sometimes numbers give you the bigger picture, but it's not the brighter part of that side. So coming to our last question with Lokesh ji. So basically, how do you see the impact of technology in skilling beyond that education? And how our skilling institution are ready to accommodate that technologies, whatever is available with us?
So, sir, I will state that, like a food diet, I use an acronym called DIET, जो कि schools और universities दोनों को adopt करना चाहिए. पहला D, which is digital content. हर चीज़ personalize हो गई है, mobile learning हो रही है, सब कुछ हो रहा है. Number 2, I, which is the infrastructure. Because most of the colleges and the schools don't have the requisite infrastructure. 3, which is E, is enable. Enable your teachers, enable your students, empower your teachers. A lot of them are not there. Number 4 is T, which is transform all the data that you capture. In schools, universities, hazar amounts of data is collected. But turn that data into wisdom. Do the analytics. And how can you do it? You can do it by taking a pizza pie. What does the pie stand for? Partner with the industry, invest in your resources, and third is especially in terms of do excellence in whatever you're doing. That's it.
Great. Thank you very much. So we actually receive a great perspective from different people. Everybody has shared their thoughts and views. At the last, actually, I just conclude this session with that. Actually, I personally feel that actually corporate should play a role of catalyst kind of role. Changes is happening. Education system is also changing. Things are moving on. So if corporate is entering, their pace should increase. We should be like act as a catalyst in that form. This is from my side. Thank you very much, sir.